Today is January 3rd and it is Wednesday, and I've been, of course, thinking a lot about the new year and what it's going to hold, and I thought that I would chat with you a little bit about it. I very much love January 1 to start a new year, and I love September 1. I feel like those are the two times that we always reflect a lot and make new plans and all that, because September 1 is like the beginning of fall and holidays. January feels like, oh, thank God Christmas is over and all that, and you put everything away and it's like a fresh start. Okay, so I've been thinking about the new year, and I've been 2017 for me specifically was crazy. As you know, if you follow me in January of last year, I had chosen my word for the year. And I always choose a word for the year. And that year, my word was blessed. Last year was blessed. And I was so sure in January that I was going to have the best blessed year. It was just going to be great. Everything was beginning to settle down a little bit, and I just really thought 2017 is going to be my year. And then, lo and behold, Scott was unemployed for February, March, and April, and he couldn't find a job in Houston. He could not find a job in Florida. I've talked about all this, but we ended up having to move again. I counted today, when I was starting my new planner, I counted on my old calendar that I was out of town in 2017, as in not sleeping in my own home, wherever that was, for 105 days. I was out of town because Scott moved and I was visiting him here and then going back home, and then I was going to Austin and then here and then Florida and da-da-da-da-da. And I was gone 105 days in the year of 2017. I hope I don't ever do that again, but a lot of that was me feeling so guilty that I was moving again, and I was so worried about people and my family and just feeling so guilty. And as I looked back at my calendar and I thought about all the things I did over 2017, I'm letting go of the guilt, because I kicked butt last year. I went and saw everybody I could. I tried to help everybody I could. I tried to make sure everybody was happy and settled, and I finally realized you can't make everybody happy. Let it go and just be nice and be kind. That's all I can do. I've decided that there's no more guilt. I kicked butt in 2017 because I kept my sanity through so much travel and moving to a brand new state. And in looking back on 2017, I realized I was blessed. I was blessed to be able to do all that traveling and to go see and help and be there for people, because God's blessed me with that ability. There's that. There's 2017. I'm closing the door on it. I'm glad it's over. And so for 2018, I thought, what's my word going to be? What's my word going to be? And I knew I wanted it to be an upbeat word, like blessed was. I knew I wanted it to be happy, positive, and all of a sudden I came up with the word positivity and possibilities. That's how I'm looking at 2018, because there's nothing really on the calendar except for, like, well, there is two things, but it's kind of an open book this year. Scott and I don't really have any travel plans made yet, except we already know what we're doing Christmas, and we're going to try to go to New York City this year. Other than that, you know. So anyway, what am I going to do in 2018 in kind of what I feel like might be a quiet year in my quiet little house here, and we're all settled. I mean, there's so much I want to do. I want to go through every closet and every room and you know, do it again with a little more time than when I first moved here and first unpacked and everything. And I'm going to take y'all along that journey. And I've already shared with y'all, I want to work on my clothes. I want to work on my health and different things like that. Let me share one thing with you really quick. The other day when I was in Austin, my brother told me, he goes, I bought you a book. I bought you a book. And I said, really? This book belonged to me, okay? I can't tell you how much I used to love reading novels. I read from shortly after I got married until my eyes failed me. And I could not read laying down in bed anymore because my readers would smash my face. I tried contacts, that didn't work. And I gave it up. And because I felt like reading in the middle of the day was kind of self-indulgent and I didn't really have time for it anyway back then, I just quit reading, other than for learning. I read all the time for self-help learning, improving your life, improving your productivity. I read books like that constantly, but they're the kind of books you can sit down and read a chapter and you've got it. And then you may not pick the book up for a month, and that's okay. Novels are different. You have to read them in time. Anyway, it's really been bothering me that I've quit being a reader of novels. Well, on the first day Scott went back to work, which was January 2nd, I had been working like 6 hours, and then I sat down on the couch, and it was so cold in this apartment. I got this little electric coverlet throw thing that I gave Scott, and I sat down and I started reading this book. And y'all, I could not put it down. I'm going to be a reader again. I forgot what it was like. And so the fact that I sat down and I said, okay, I'm going to read for 30 minutes. I read an hour and a half. I am like a third of the way through the book. It's so good, and it was so good to do. But what I was going to say before is on January 1st, something popped up into my feed on something I was online, and it said the benefits of reading novels specifically. And it was talking about how the benefits are incredible, y'all. The benefits. Now, for you Kindle and e-read people, it did say you get a little bit more benefit from reading if you are reading a physical book with paper. I don't know why, but they said, I can't remember the details, but it said you do get more of a benefit. But reading at all novels is good, okay? Fiction is good. And the other two, but it said reading from paper is a little bit better. The tactile experience does something with your brain. So anyway, I am so excited about this because it also spoke in that article about your memory. This helps stave off memory loss. It can help, I read it in that article, it said that it can even, if you might have Alzheimer's in your future, this can kick it back like 12 years. Just reading. And this book had everything in it because it has an island. It takes place in Florida. It's about rare books. So good. My brother knew what he was talking about when he gave me that book. Usually Scott and I, well, not usually because we haven't done it that often, but the few times that we've driven from Alabama to Houston, we've gone straight down from where we live in Alabama and then I-10 all the way. I-10 is the worst, ugliest, horrible highway. It's bumpy, it's lumpy, it's trafficy, it's ugly, it's just awful. So we talked about going north from Austin, going to Dallas, and then cutting over on I-20 to get to Alabama. So that's what we decided to do. Even though it was going to be an extra 30 minutes, we said, you know what, we're sick of I-10, we're doing it. Okay. We didn't get to leave my parents' house till 9:30. My fault. Long story. We've left at 9:30. It's late. This is not my husband's ball of wax. He hates that, okay? Well, we're driving north. We barely left town, and we're coming into Waco, which is between Austin and Dallas. And we're coming into Waco, and all of a sudden Scott says to me, hey, why don't you look up that Magnolia Marketplace and see how far it is off the freeway? And I'm like, what? Who is this person in my husband's body? And I went, okay. I looked it up and I said, it's like a mile off the freeway. And he goes, okay, let's go. Y'all, I have never been so shocked in my life. But I told him all about it when I went with my friend Diane last summer. And when I got home and I told him all about it, he started watching Fixer Upper. I had never even watched Fixer Upper, hardly, maybe a few episodes. And so we started watching it together, and he fell in love with it. He loved the show. He loves Chip. He loves Joanna, the whole thing. We, in the misty, freezing cold weather of Waco, we zipped off the freeway. We jumped out of the truck. We played. I timed it. I didn't time it, but I looked in the truck when we got back in. It was 40 minutes we took because it was so crowded because they were having a big end of the year sale. We zipped all through the market, picked up bargains like this, y'all. We were just picking stuff up, checked out, went outside in the drizzle, bought food to go from the food trucks, and got back in the truck and headed north. It was so fun, and I said to Scott last night, I said, you know, I'm still so shocked that you wanted to stop on this long trip we had. It was like 12 hours. And he said he doesn't want to own it, that he actually did it. And I said, I think you finally learned that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. He goes, no, it's still about the destination. But he enjoyed going there, and he said, of course, you know, well, that was my one time to go there. But the fact that he did that was so cool and crazy. One more thing, I have got a routine I've written out. And this is going to kind of be my daily routine. I'm not going to do a video where I'm, you know, doing everything. But in the morning, here's my routine for 2018. Most of this I already do. I'll tell you when it's something new. Devotion prayer, drink water, make my bed, always, plan dinner, make sure I've texted, touch my family with a text or two, clear my emails, and clean my house. I always do all those things in, you know, before noon. The things I'm going to add this year are stretching. I need to be stretching my shoulder and keep working on it. I have done this before, but I've gotten off of it. Maybe with all the travel, I'm going to start having my apple cider vinegar every morning. And I'm going to choose 3 things a day, the big 3, and they're going to go in my planner. That's 3 things I want to accomplish. But the other thing I'm going to do, and I just read this as well, when you have your things, your list, your to-do list. And I've decided that my to-do list is going to be a suggestion list. I'm tired of not marking everything off my to-do list and just feeling like a failure. That failure is a big word in my head lately. Something keeps telling me, you're such a failure. You're such a... No, I'm not. Stop. So it's going to be a suggestion list, but I am going to put the big 3. But the other thing that something else I read, because I'm reading about New Year's resolutions and goals and things like that, is don't just look at the 3 things and, oh my gosh, I only got one of them accomplished. Think about your day. And if you did some other big things, write them down and check them off, even if they weren't there at all. And they said, then you get to start seeing and you start building momentum that, oh my gosh, I did so. Like today, my big 3 was send an email that was very important. I did that. Film a video. I'm doing that. And the 3rd thing was go to the post office. Well, I'm not going to make it to the post office. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And normally that would just bug me that I didn't check that off my list. But guess what? I put so many things away today. I rearranged a portion of my kitchen to put some things away that I really wanted in my kitchen. What else did I did? I did way more devotional than I normally do. So you see, the big 3 is great, but I need to acknowledge that I've done a lot of other things today. And then after this video, I'm going to have my reading time because I can't wait to find out what happens in this book. Okay. So stretching, apple cider vinegar, focusing on what you have accomplished each day are in my morning, afternoon list. Evening. This is the things I'm going to get a lot more. My evening routine is splash my makeup off as fast as I can and get in my jammies. That's my evening routine. Besides, of course, the kitchen's already clean and everything. I'm going to focus more on in the evening on skincare, brushing and flossing, lotioning everything because the heat's been running and that's really on my mind now. Write tomorrow's list the night before, because if you don't do that, when I sit down to do my devotion, I'm much more likely to start on my to-do list if it's not already written. So I'm going to do that the night before. I'm going to do a 10-minute tidy, which I always do. And the final thing, oh, and I'm going to read 30 minutes a day. That's up in the afternoon. I'm going to read at least 30 minutes a day. That is it for kind of a mixed up video about all kind of things. 2017 into 2018. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be so fun, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.